As you all know, the hosting Olympics and its challenges is uh, very tough. Before I go into the detail of this, first of all, I'd like to just touch upon the a little bit of the history of the Olympics. As you all know, the next slides. As you all know, the ancient Olympic, it was started in the 776 BC to 319 AD. When it was started, it was the Olympic Games were first held in Olympia, Greece, in the year of 77 BC as a religious festival to honor Zeus. The first Olympic stadium was in an area thought to have been cleared when Jesus hurtled down the lightning bolt. It was believed by the Greeks. So thereafter, I think probably, and there was only uh, the rule was that there was only one game. There were a few games. That the games is boxing and wrestling combination, and along with the field events, wrestling and running, boxing, chariot racing, etc. was held. And thereafter, in the 1896, the modern Olympic, it was first a Frenchman, noble Frenchman, Perry de Coubertin, revived the games after becoming interested in the physical education. The first modern Olympic was held in Athens in the April 1896. Altogether, 241 athletes from 14 countries comprising in 40 events that had taken part. The games have been held since then with the cancel due to the world in 5 times, 3 Summer Olympic and 2 Winter Olympic. The first modern Winter Games were held in the 2024. If you see the history of the Olympics taken part by the India first participated in I am talking about the pre-independent period in 1900. A lone athlete called Norman Pitcher had taken part, and he obtained 2 silver medals in that particular. And thereafter, in the 1920, the games which was held in the games which was held in the Summer Olympic, there India had sent the total team about 20, where is this thing Indian hockey team had baked the battles. In the pre-independent, as I said, the Norman Pitcher is the only, I think, probably the athletes who had obtained the medal in 200-meter race and 200-meter hurdles, the 2 games. In 228, Amsterdam, the men's hockey team, which was the field hockey, was sent and I think probably got a first gold medal in the history of Olympics. And this continued up to the 1956 Olympics. In the pre-independent period, 1932 or Los Angeles, and also 1936 in the Berlin Olympics, India got the gold medal in the hockey. As you see in the 1928 to 1956, it was the golden era for the hockey team. Hockey had altogether won 11 medals, out of which I think the 8 gold medals, 2 silver and 1 bronze medal. In the post-independence, for the first time, the India, when they have sent the team in the post-independent, in the 1900 and 48, the London Olympics, the men's hockey teams also again the big medals. And it continued up to 56 the gold medal. And for the first time, the individual medal in 1952 Helsinki, the KD Jadhav had obtained a medal in the wrestling event. If you go through the history of the individual medal that was obtained by the KD Jadhav, thereafter, I think in the Lander Pius in the year of 1996 Atlanta Olympic, he obtained the first, I think, individual medal. And before that, it was only the hockey team, and they have every time they send the team in from India in the Olympic, they're able to obtain the medal. In 200 or thereafter the Lander Pius, the first, I think, that the woman athlete who had obtained the medal in the Olympic was in the form of the Karnam Malleshwari. She won the bronze medal in the Sydney Olympic in 2000. The Rajyavardhan Rathore, thereafter in Athens, he followed, and with a silver medal for the first time, I think probably he had won medal in shooting. Then 2008, the Beijing Olympic, it was slightly better because in the earlier occasion, every Olympic, it is only the one medal, they have been winning it. But for the first time in Beijing Olympic, three of the great athletes, they have won the 3 medals in the form of Abhinav Bindra gold, Vijendra Singh's bronze in boxing, and Sushil Kumar in wrestling. The London Olympics 2012 happened to be the, I think, the glorious, I think, day, the Olympic for India as far as medal is concerned. The 6 of the athletes have obtained medal in that particular. The Vijay Kumar in shooting, silver. Sushil Kumar. The Sushil Kumar is the only the athlete, I think, probably in 2 consecutive Olympic he have won the medal. In the earlier occasion in Beijing, he got a bronze, and this time in London Olympics, he had won, I think, silver medal. Saina Nehwal in the form of badminton with the bronze medal. Mary Kom, the athlete from the Northeast, so far big medal is the only Mary Kom. She had obtained a medal in boxing in bronze medal. The Gagan Narang, Jageshwar Dutt in wrestling. And the Rio, which was happened in the 2016, with a high expectation, the Indian team had gone there, but unfortunately, it is only the 2 medals that obtained the medal in the form of PV Sindhu, silver in badminton, and Sakshi Malik, bronze medal in wrestling. And I was fortunate enough that in that particular Olympics, I happened to be there as a spectator, sitting in the gallery, watching the 2 great athletes obtain the medal in that particular Olympics. Thereafter, of course, we have to see that this time we're expecting a lot, and we have 100 plus, I think, athletes. I'm sure, I think, probably this athlete will bring a lot of the laurel for the country, and they may succeed the Olympic that happened in 2012. We are expecting a more than the 6 medals this time. The history of mega multi-sports event that was conducted by India, as you all know, that for the first Asian Games, which was held in the year of 1951, it was held in the New Delhi itself. The nation has the distinction of ever hosting the first Asian Games in the year of 1951 with the 11 nations and 8 sports. And thereafter, in the year of 82, New Delhi again has hosted the Asian Games in 30, where the 33 nations and 20 sports disciplines, the participants took part in that particular event. And the first Afro-Asian Games was also held in Hyderabad in 2003, where 96 nations and 8 sports disciplines were conducted. The Commonwealth Games, which was held in the year of 2010, New Delhi, there are 71 Commonwealth nations and dependents had taken part in 21 sports. As you all know, the bidding and hosting the Olympic Games, it's a very tedious process and it is prestigious. When cities decides to make a bid to host the Olympic Games, there are many areas of concern to consider. In examining the high cost of placing a bid or hosting the Olympic Games, studies find that bidding cities as well as host cities seems to benefit through world recognition. However, the cost is extreme and creates question about financial risks. Poor countries seems to be worried due to the capital investment involved living opportunities for the affluent countries to invest money in infrastructure. The attraction of worldwide attention allows the wealthy countries an opportunity to raise capital with the possibility of stimulating the economy through tourism and trade. As you all know, there are many challenges to overcome while hosting or bidding for the Olympic. The Olympics are a financial drain on host cities, people believes, and it is also to some extent, I think probably this is the most crucial, I think probably the challenges that comes, the finance part. That without the finance, I think probably it would be very difficult. That is the reason why National International Olympic Committee, they always consider to the wealthy nations for awarding of this Olympics. It is accepting three countries, three cities, where the developing countries, all other Olympics is happening only in the developed country. Take example of the Mexico, which was I think held in the Mexico Olympics. Then thereafter it created the Seoul Olympic and Rio 2016. All other the hosting cities are from the developed countries. The Olympic Games since 1960 has come under budget. Every time they put the budget initially, it always goes beyond. In the games, the budget is more like a fictitious minimum that is consistently overspent. The delayed Tokyo 2020 Summer Games were already the most expensive Olympics in the history, running a 200% over budget on September 7, 2020, though not scheduled to begin until July 2021. Now it is happening in this month from the 23rd of July. Tokyo forecast about 7.3 billion in their 2013 when they have started bidding it. Initial bidding, it was they have expected that they will be spending only about $7.3 billion. But the actual cost is estimated to be 15.84 billion as of September, with cost continuing to rise. In January 2021, a study was conducted and it was found that foreign spectators due to COVID-19 restriction could cost Japan as much as 20 billion. So which is a huge amount. Country like us, if you believe, it is a very huge amount. Each host city is responsible for those costs overrun. In addition to their original budget, the average cost overrun for host cities from 1968 to 2010 with 24% of for the Summer Olympics and 135% for the winter. With the 1976 Montreal Summer Games running over the most by 796%. Montreal Olympic, which was held in the 1976, cost overrun took 30 years to pay off, and the people of the Quebec still pay 17 million a year to maintain the Olympic Stadium, which is still without a roof over 40 years later, and also needs 300 million worth of dollar for a repair. The 2004 Athens Summer Games, 60% overrun worsened the 2007 to 2012 Greek financial has become a very crisis. They become crisis. Challenges to overcome the second challenges that comes the Olympic force. Host cities to create expensive infrastructure and building that fall into disuse. Most of these stadiums that has been constructed for hosting of the Olympics, if you see the history in every Olympics or every in that matter, if you go into the stadiums that has been constructed here in India also for conduct of the Asian Games or the Commonwealth Games, or in that matter the national games, which has also happened in the country, you will see most of these stadiums are disused. Host cities are often left with specialized sports infrastructure that has the little use beyond the games, and that the cities must maintain at great expense. Many Olympic venues worldwide sit empty, rusted, overgrown, with weeds, covered with graffiti, and filled with polluted water. Sydney Olympics 2000 Olympic, which was happened in Sydney, was demolished in 219 in favor of a smaller and most useful venue. Beijing 208 Bird Nest Stadium cost the city $11 million a year to maintain, and a stadium that sits 91,000 mostly sits unused. The 700 million athletes village for the Rio Games 2016, which was held in Brazil, was turned into luxury apartments that are now shuttered, and the Olympic Park is basically vacant after failing to attract a buyer. Sofia Sakofara, Greece MP and former Olympian stated of the 2004 Athens Games venue, we are left with installation that are rotting away because we do not even have the money to maintain them. The Olympics, the third challenges, which is basically seen in the some of the Olympics that was earlier conducted. The Olympic displaced and burdened resident of the host and the host country and the city. If you see in the Beijing 2008 Olympic infrastructure that was estimated about 1.5 million people were forcibly evicted from their homes for construction of the stadiums and the other infrastructure in their own country. Residents near Rio de Janeiro 2016 Olympic Games, whose homes were set to be demolished, were forcibly removed in a bloody confrontation between the police and the resident that reportedly involved the use of rubber bullets and percussion grenades. The problem is that once the Olympics happens, it is always happened in the cities. The cities need to have the plenty of free spaces where I think probably the stadia for about the 42 venues for the different stadiums, and also again the Olympic village need to be created, for which I think that a huge amount of the area is required. And the cities, major cities where every logistic support is there, the requirement of the areas, the free spaces is very minimum presently in our own country. In that case, the requirement of the land required for construction of the various stadiums for the conduct of the game, I think need to be procured from the government land would be very minimum, where I think probably the compensation need to be paid to the public, where I think probably this land need to be acquired. For that matter, these challenges will come once the venue is decided, all the also creation of this infrastructure. That is the challenges that I think probably need to overcome. Now, because it's required a huge amount of money, it required a huge amount of the land for the construction of the different stadiums. Therefore, I think probably it needs the support from the public is also a very important. Because of not having the public support, there are the past Olympics which has happened in Munich. The bid that has been prepared by the bid for the 2020 games was, I think, prepared by the Germany and also Poland. These two countries, they have bid for 2020 games, which is happening this year in the Tokyo. They have bid, but however, because of not having the public support, finally, I think probably they could not succeed in the bidding process. The concern of public support are also so great. The International Olympic Committee established Agenda 2020 to ensure the bidding process. In the bidding process, it needs to be, I think, probably clearly mentioned. The bidding cities understand the importance of community support to the degree that the use of the media to influence public opinion is the common practices. Without the public support, it is not only the public support, it is the support from the government, local government, it is the support from the national sports bodies, and also private and public sector. The organization is required for hosting of the successful hosting of the Olympics. There are opportunities. Now come down to the opportunities and benefit of the Olympics. The Olympic increases valuable tourism, which can boost local economics. There are some examples I just quote. The 216 Rio de Janeiro Summer Games had a global audience of 5 billion, with the games broadcasting in 200 countries. More than 56% of the foreign visitors to Brazil for the 2016 games were new visitors. And Brazil set tourism record with 6.6 million foreign tourists and $6.2 billion. So it's a massive. In 1984 Summer Olympics Games happened in the Los Angeles, netted the city a 215 million operating surplus and $280 million in broadcasting fee. The Olympic brought a record of 42.2 million tourists to Los Angeles country that year, an increase of 9.3% over previous year in 1983. The 2018 Winter Games in Pyeongchang reported a $55 million surplus that was used for the benefit of sports in the host country, South Korea. The 1992 Barcelona Summer Olympic made a profit, helping to revitalize the city and transform it from industrial backwater into the third best city in the Europe. England welcomed more than one visitors every second in June 2013 after the 2012 Summer Olympic, a 12% increase over 2012, the previous year. Those tourists also spent more than 2.57 billion in June, a 13% increase, and 12.1 billion in the first half of 2013. The Olympic, the second, the benefit that comes from the Olympic is the Olympic increases the host countries' global trade and stature. There are a couple of examples I can give you. The host countries tend to invite a prestigious global economy organization. The very fact of bidding for the games serves as a credible signal that a country is committed itself to the trade liberalization that will permanently increase trade flow. China negotiated with the World Trade Organization opening trade for the country after being awarded the Beijing 2008 Summer Games. After a successful 1955 bid for 1960 Summer Olympic in Rome, Italy joined the United Nations and began the Messina negotiations that led to the creation of the European Economic Community. The 1964 Tokyo Summer Games led to Japan entry to the International Monetary Fund and OECD. The 1968 Olympics allowed Mexico to make up the leap into the rank of industrialized nations. Spain joined the ESC with a year of the 1996 Barcelona Summer Olympics. Korea political liberation coincided with the winning the bid for the 1988 Seoul Summer Games. One economic study found that the Olympic effect is robust. Hosting the games tends to increase the country's opening substantially and permanently. And thereafter, the Olympic, the benefit that comes is then the Olympic creates a sense of national pride. Yeah, definitely. Once the Olympic comes to the country, I think probably it is going to be a national pride. According to the global poll, the majority of the people in the globe, about 18 to 28 countries, 21 countries had stated their nations' performance at the Olympic was important to their national pride. Yes, any medal comes in the Olympics, it's a national pride. The athletes who took part in the various Olympics, they always play for the national pride. The Roger Bannister, the first person to ever run the mile in under 4 minutes, and 1952 Helsinki Olympian, stated of his country's performance at the 2012 Olympic Summer Game that Team Great Britain's historic success seems to have reawakened in us our sense of national pride. A realization perhaps that as a people we have the ability, the drive and the determination to agree. A genuine feel-good factor for hosting the Olympics can be very positive for the economy, not just in terms of higher spending, but also in the productivity at work, which is turned boost output. Now, according to if I go into the summary and conclusion, with high cost of investment in the infrastructure and the political environment, many cities are no longer interested in taking the risks of hosting the Olympics. The return on the investment is risky, and the additional cost for security for such an event is scary. For countries that have been money to invest, the opportunity to improve the infrastructure is attractive. And investors are still willing to put money into an event that is high profile on an international level. Cities that can plan and stay within their budget can find success. Advancing the technology and infrastructure may attract attention from the national and international stages. A bidding city also benefits from economic impact and international recognition. Due to the large amount of money needed to invest in a bid to host the games, only 3 cities from the developing nation hosted the events, as I said earlier. Between 1896 to 2016, Mexico City hosted the Olympics Games in 1968, Seoul in 1988, and Rio de Janeiro in 2016. Therefore, apart from the support of the public, the backings of the following organization, as I said, are also a must. The central government, the local government, the National Sports Federation, National Sports Association, public and private sector organization across all political parties. This is what I think probably they require for the successful hosting of the or the successful bidding of the Olympic 2000, which are I think probably India is expected to bid for the 2036 because India thought of hosting the or bidding for the process 2013 2032. However, the 2032 Olympic has been awarded to Brisbane, and 2024 it is going to happen in Paris, and thereafter to 2028 it's in the Los Angeles, and now 2036 is the I think probably the Olympic which is happening in 2036. India can I think probably bid, but they were planning. Delhi government has planned, but however, they have now, since it has been awarded, because India is also, I think, planning to bid for the 2030 Asian Games. 2026 Youth Olympic was to be bidded, but however, 2026 the Olympic also has been Youth Olympic also has been awarded to some other cities. Therefore, I think probably the India can think of 36 or the beyond, and it needs about 7 to 8 years of preparation. Therefore, I think probably it is the high time that India can, I think, probably think of bidding for the Olympic 2036 or beyond. It is not only the bidding process, the challenges, but also hosting the challenges. There's the operational part, I think, where I think probably there are many challenges after the award. There are many challenges because you need to timely complete the infrastructure that is being earmarked for the various venues or various sports, and also operational part where I think probably a lot of technical officials would be I think probably requiring, and also manpower would be a major issues that will come up. I think probably both skilled and unskilled manpower would be required for timely construction of the various stadiums. Equipment is also another part. I think probably where I think probably the world class or the approved equipment need to come in time. These are some challenges I think probably need to overcome once the India is thinking of bidding or for hosting of the Olympics in future. So this year, 100 plus, I think probably athletes is going to take part. I'm sure I think probably the athletes are gearing up, and I'm sure I think probably COVID-19 situation has I think probably a lot of resistance has come for the preparation, not only for India, for the whole globe. The athletes all over the world, I think probably have been finding it difficult for preparation of this 21 Olympic, which is supposed to happen in 20. I'm sure I think probably 100 plus athletes across I think 14 sports who is going to take part in that particular the Olympic, which is happening I think probably by this month on 23rd. I'm sure I think probably India is going to do well. And as India, the Sports Authority of India and Ministry of Youth Affairs, already the chief guest of today's function, the Honorable, the respected Pulia Gopeshan has already said that the government is doing a fine job in the top level, in the elite level. But however, the grassroots level, the athletes need to be groomed. I think probably grassroots, if you make a sports culture in the whole country, I'm sure I think probably the base would be very strong. Today, under top schemes and also developmental group, we had only about 300 plus athletes, 160 in the core group, leading to the 2024 and 28 Olympics. That is what I think we have a list. 160 in the core group and 259 in the developmental group. Altogether, we have only 419, I think, the athletes. That is, I think, probably we are keeping it for the preparation of the 2024 and 2028 Olympic. However, the talent pool should be increased in a drastic way. Without this small amount, I am sure I think probably quality will not come. Only from the quantity, the quality will come. We have about 23 centers of excellence spread over, established in the whole country, and roughly about 60, I think, probably STC site training center. And thereafter, Government of India has also planned for center of excellence in the state level in the every state headquarter, and also 1,000 district level Khelo India centers. I'm sure, I think probably the 1,000 Khelo India center, once it comes up in the various district of the whole country, and also the state level center of excellence in the respective states, I'm sure that this will be a feeder center for this core group and the development group of the athletes, which cover under top schemes. I'm sure, I think probably India will have a better future. In order to create the sports culture, I'm sure, I think probably I'm agree to the earlier speaker. They are saying that especially the Gopishan has said that the grassroots level is a very important. We should not neglect that. Only the grassroots level, the talent, real talent comes. The talent from the Northeast is the abundance we have. Is a treasure of abundance of talents we have in this northeastern region. I'm sure, I think probably we can produce more, a lot of Kunjarani Devi. We can produce a lot of Mirabai. We can produce a lot of Medicom. I'm sure, I think probably they will inspire us, and also the inspire the sports administrator or sports organizer, and also the public in general who are interested in the sports to take up the sports as a challenging career. Last but not the least, I would like to once again extend my heartfelt thanks to the Vice Chancellor of the National Sports University, and also the registrar and the dean for giving me this wonderful opportunity to present this topic in the national level webinar platform. Thank you once again. Jai Hind.